Hello there and welcome to the Hashpower Academy. This is your place to learn absolutely anything to do with Bitcoin. And here in El Salvador, Bitcoin country, I have a bit of a journey to explain. And it starts with this. Learning about Bitcoin from the lens of financial history doesn't help put food on the table. In a place such as here in Berlin, where the average income, whether it's remittance or a salary, is probably $300, right? $300. Now, I spoke to someone that I think they had a bank in one of their buildings and they left Berlin in Usulután, El Salvador, because they explained that no one has savings here, and that's really where banks make their money. When you have deposits with the bank, they can use that money to make more money. And if there's no one with savings here, it suggests that their costs are probably just as high. So how on earth can people progress in life or gain the store of value benefits of Bitcoin if they've got no savings? You have to have something to save to be able to preserve that energy and value over time and later spend it. That's what the North gets to benefit from Bitcoin from. But here, you know, the ability to reduce costs is one aspect, but we'll delve into that. And the first one is obviously, well, more business, more tourism, more Bitcoiners showing up, spending it. But the very experience of being in a medium of exchange town for 3 months is understanding that even if we swap these units for Bitcoin, or shall I say $300 worth of Bitcoin, all we add is another friction. We add a transaction that they have to deal with to still go and pay those costs that are all in dollars. So we've still got this problem that we could try and increase incomes, but what's directly proportionate is GDP and energy use. So what I'd like to offer as a perspective is, well, even assuming incomes stay the same, how do we get costs down? Now, my direct bias is obviously to both teach, talk about, and expand the production of energy here, and solar is the best opportunity for individuals here in El Salvador. Because of the fact that you are shifting away from paying an electric grid 25 to 30 cents per kilowatt hour. That is almost as high as England, which is insane, especially when you contend with the fact that their incomes are marginal in comparison to what that electric bill would come in at, $50, $60. So people live here in abject energy poverty. They don't heat things and they're conscious and careful about how they use energy. That's not how you expand GDP. GDP is directly proportionate to energy use. So we have to expand this side of Bitcoin. We have to teach this side of Bitcoin. Learning about financial history does not help you fill an empty stomach. I'm sorry, any Bitcoin educator that would like me to work with them on teaching and expanding this side of Bitcoin to help expand the energy properties of that money, and with the first thing of solar, if we can at least get those costs down by $100 a month with, yes, systems that cost money to set up, but the effort here is to get costs down. Get costs down in a way that even the same income or the same money from the US has a margin of savings. We want the savings. This, wrong color. This is store of value. When people have costs lower than their incomes. That's it. You have excess, almost like a farmer. You're able to sell 90% of the goods to break even. You have the excess of the other 10%. And so the educational focus for me is here, Hashpower Academy. And the finance side of Bitcoin is important, but through the energy lens, because I have thought of more heat use applications than I can think of, such as the farm I'm on, where the farmer cannot afford to increase his egg production because of the energy cost to do the incubation. He's got the ability, he used to have a productive output of 19,000 eggs. And the particular gap in time where you've got more eggs being heated, that's lots of energy in and no money out because they're in incubation, they're not producing eggs. And so would it be interesting that I convert his egg incubator and remove the heating element with a Bitcoin mining system? Does that system multiply and replicate to multiple farms? Yes, it does. And so it's about exploring other ways that Bitcoin's utility can integrate into all other different systems and services and agricultural output of El Salvador with Bitcoin's systems, where solar is already established here and ever increasing. Places like the city are getting more and more hot. So people buy AC and then they go, oh my God, at the first electric bill, because AC uses a lot of energy. And even the prices of places to rent, they'll have two different prices, one for with AC, higher price, and one without. And so we need to remove those frictions when it comes to the very tourists that are coming here, where I've had multiple people ask me about places I'm visiting and if they want to visit, is there air conditioning? Is there hot water? And so all I'm hearing is, do they have a product, market, or service that uses the excessive amounts of energy that they are comfortable with up in the north? And the answer is no. But if solar can get the cost of energy down, where you're thinking of, hey, let me pay 4 years or 5 years worth of energy up front as the cost of the system to get 20 years of energy production. And when people are not in your business, not using energy, you can have all that energy of your system either to the grid as credits, or you now have another buyer, the Bitcoin network. And you are connecting that computer to the internet to contribute in mining blocks and earning some Bitcoin. And if all of that was in a medium of exchange town where people take Bitcoin as payment, it connects the Bitcoin to the very system that they've installed. So they have a system that reduces costs, electricity that's available for themselves, their business, or the excess mined and computed into adding blocks and securing the network and getting paid money that you can also spend in town. This completes the full stack of what's possible with Bitcoin in a way that's incredibly interesting. And so, yeah, it's really important to get store of value down here, because people in the north, they can have savings that are enough to be able to hold Bitcoin over time. But here, all we've done is switched them to a currency that adds a transaction cost when they have to go and pay bills in dollars. And a lot of those bills are energy related. So it'd be very interesting if we can explore that path for Bitcoin per kilowatt hour to start that journey of costs being in Bitcoin. Because your business isn't going to run if you've not been paying that electric bill, and then the internet switches off, and then no customers come in the door. And so costs are what we are subservient to. And so if we have costs in Bitcoin, we can define our prices in Bitcoin. And this is how Bitcoin expands beyond the medium of exchange towns into supply chains, into costs, into all the different aspects of how things move in this world, into prices as the final result. We're not going to jump magically to Bitcoin unit of account of prices of all things until the costs all the way down to the production level are priced in Bitcoin first, and Bitcoin is already directly priced to electricity. That is the best place to start. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to explore all manner of different things in El Salvador, and especially this, getting savings into people's hands. Then they can get the store of value benefits. Until next time, peace.